Guys, welcome in. I just wanted to take a quick look at the NFL weather for tomorrow and then give off my top 10 best bets for the games based off a number of different models, a number of factors that I look at. You know, who's the most value? Are any of these games really affected by some significant weather? Let's get right into it. We did have the Falcons-Panthers game deal with some light rain there. Yes, there was some rain in that game. Let's get to the Sunday games. We've got the Seahawks and Bucks. Guys, just by the way, I don't know what this time zone is. I think it's like Newfoundland time zone or something, but it's actually an hour in front of me because I'm East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. You know, it's an hour in front of me. So that's why it says 2 o'clock for all the 1 o'clock games, 5 o'clock for all the 4 o'clock games, things like that. But in Germany, we're finally getting, an NFL game out in Germany. That's great to see. Looks like 48 degrees and clear. That will be around maybe a 3 o'clock start Germany time. Actually, it might be like 5. I don't know exactly, but no weather impact on that one. The Seahawks and Buccaneers, that should be a very close game. This is the big one with the weather. I would suggest to take the under in the Minnesota-Buffalo game. You know, you think of Minnesota as this cold weather team. No, guys, Minnesota is a dome team. And Buffalo, obviously, they play in the cold a lot. I get it. The issue is Josh Allen has not practiced all week. If they go with Case Keenum, the over-under's gotten bet down to 42.5. I still think there's value on the under. I like this game ending, something like 20-17. You're going to have on and off snow showers throughout the entire game. There's going to be no rain. It's going to be all snow. I know it says 36 degrees, but the wind chill, it's going to be about 24, 25 with the wind chill. It's going to be all snow, light snow, on and off. And you're possibly dealing with Buffalo starting a backup quarterback. Also, this game is on Fox. Fox games tend to be a little bit of lower scoring, especially at the 1 o'clock window. Lions at Bears. It's going to be a little bit chilly in Chicago, 35 degrees, but sunny. I like the Bears in that one, -3. Justin Fields having such a breakout year. Broncos and Titans. This will probably be a defensive battle. 41 degrees and clear. In that one, I think the Broncos currently are +3 or +2.5. I like the value on the Broncos very slightly, though. I think the over-under in this game is just 39. Jaguars at the Chiefs. Kansas City, it's going to be cold in Kansas City, 36 degrees. There might be some value here on Kansas City to cover the spread. The last time I checked, it was 9.5. You've got a warm weather team like Jacksonville traveling, playing in 36-degree weather. Maybe also the under in this game with it being a little bit colder. Someone like Trevor Lawrence, not used to this weather. Jacksonville's offense may be frozen. Browns at the Dolphins. It's going to be beautiful. I know a lot of people are on the over in this game. A lot of people are also on the Browns plus the 3.5. This is going to be very, very good weather, 83 degrees, humid, and very nice there in Miami. You've got Houston traveling to take on the Giants, right around 50, mostly cloudy. Pretty much as good weather as you're going to get for a game like that. The Giants have been bet down to only 4.5-point favorites. There is some value on the over. The weather will cooperate for a potential over to hit. We've got the Saints at the Steelers. A lot of money being bet on the Steelers with TJ Watt back, coming off their bye. Kenny Pickett getting better each week. 37 degrees, mostly cloudy, pretty much what you can expect. Maybe a little bit more winds here, 11-mile-per-hour winds. The Raiders-Colts game is a dome. I'm surprised. Well, actually, I guess with the Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow injury news, the line in this game has gone down to 4.5 for Vegas. So that is interesting. I actually kind of like the over in this game. Indianapolis is up. Well, actually, I don't even know. I mean, their head coach is Jeff Saturday now. That's a tough one. Interesting enough, in Vegas, it is going to be a little windy. Not that it's going to matter considering it is a dome. The Cowboys at the Packers. This is the big 4:25 game, or I guess 5:25 if you live in Newfoundland. That's like, east of me. That game is on Fox. It's the big one, and it's 35 degrees. Pretty good weather there. I would say I'd be slightly concerned about Dallas's offense in this weather. A dome team from Texas playing in 35 degrees is tough. I believe the Cowboys have been bet down to 4.5-point favorites. I'd say that's mostly due to the weather because the Packers, with the receiver injuries, I know Aaron Jones is playing. They announced it, but still, that's tough. You've got the Cardinals at the Rams. That's going to be in the SoFi Stadium Megadome. You know what I said once on Twitter? I said SoFi Stadium is like the Costco of NFL stadiums. It's just so massive, and it's like all the big events are there. We've got the Chargers at the 49ers. Very nice, 55 degrees. In these two games, I actually like the underdogs to cover because there's like a trend where, you've got the 49ers. They've got a much better team. The Chargers have so many injuries, but San Francisco, 7-point favorites. Is Jimmy G really going to cover that? I definitely think the 49ers are going to win. I don't know if they're going to cover. And then we have Washington at Philadelphia. Philadelphia getting the Monday night game here. I like Washington possibly to cover that 11-point spread just because it's such a big spread. And we've seen a trend in the NFL of these big spreads in primetime games not being covered. We saw it, I think, last Monday night, if I remember correctly. It's going to be beautiful there in Philadelphia, 42 degrees and clear. That's pretty good football weather. So, guys, my main concerns would be a Dallas offense in 35-degree weather. Another concern, possibly Jacksonville and their warm weather team in 36-degree weather in Kansas City. But obviously the big game this week when it comes to the overall weather, it's Minnesota and Buffalo. And we're zeroing in on that under 42.5 with the wind chills in the 20s with the expectation that Josh Allen will not be playing. I also think, listen, you have to hedge at this point. And you have to assume Josh Allen is not playing. And if you do that, I think you have to take Minnesota plus 2.5. I know the line has just gotten bet down to so much. They were plus 6, then they were plus 5, and it just keeps trending. We'll see. I'm sure they're not going to say anything until tomorrow because they don't want the Vikings to be able to game plan it. But it just feels like the Bills are certainly going to be making the playoffs, no problem. Why would they, risk Josh Allen if he's got an elbow thing or whatever in a game like this? It just doesn't make sense. So the only weather games I see being impacted is this Buffalo game with the backup quarterback and then possibly Jacksonville's offense struggling in cold weather. I think the Cowboys should be just fine in that weather. That's not terribly cold, 35 degrees, but it will have some effect. When it comes to the overs, I like the Texans-Giants over. The weather confirms it, 50 degrees. I think the over-under in this game is 41. I think there's good value on the over, guys. It's just a smaller number. It seems like the Giants can get to 24. And really, the Texans might be a sneaky team that kind of stays in this game. The Giants really never blow anyone out. Of course, there is the problem with the Texans. They just have no offense. You've got Brandon Cooks who hates it there. He wants out. They didn't trade him. He's not happy. And then the other over that I would like would be the Browns at the Dolphins. 83 degrees. It's great weather with the Browns. You're hoping a few short fields because there is the question, can Jacoby Brissett sustain drives? But I have seen that there is good value on the Browns plus the 3.5. I think the over-under in this game is actually pretty high. It's in like the high 40s if I know that correct. That's because of Miami's offense. Miami has a really explosive offense with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. But, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for the overall weather. This Seahawks-Buccaneers game, I would say if I had to make a pick on it, I would take the under 44.5. With the Buccaneers, I just can't do it anymore. People continue to bet on Tom Brady. It's like we're so deep into the season, week number 10. At what point do we pull the plug? It's just not going to happen with their offense. Tom Brady's too old. Someone's got to admit it. It's not going to happen. That Panthers-Falcons game, man, if you're the Panthers fan, that's got to be demoralizing, honestly, man. What is the purpose of winning these games if you do need a franchise quarterback? I understand you can't blatantly lose on purpose, but it's like, if you're a fan of the Panthers, don't you have a right to be upset that your team is winning? because you're actively playing yourself out of a chance to get a franchise quarterback by winning games that are completely meaningless. The Panthers have a 0% chance to do anything this year in terms of the playoffs. So, it just feels like I would be pretty pissed if I was a Panthers fan. I mean, they get the win. These are NFL players. They're going to try and win. I understand it. And then the Falcons, I mean, can we move on from Marcus Mariota at this point? I just move to Desmond Ridder, see if he's got something. He was a late second, early third round pick, something like that. Marcus Mariota, we know what he is. He's a serviceable guy that can fill in for a few weeks and win a few games, right? I would love to see what Desmond Ridder can do. At this point, Desmond Ridder started so many games in college. That's really not going to be an issue. I love what the Steelers did, starting Kenny Pickett, and he's really developing, and I think this could be a potential Kenny Pickett coming out party, at least a little bit, where the Steelers beat New Orleans, and Kenny Pickett maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, and I just like the Steelers plus the 1.5 in that situation coming off a bye. New Orleans with Andy Dalton, I haven't checked with the whole status with Jameis. I would check that. But if Andy Dalton is starting again, I would certainly take Pittsburgh. I know it's the whole thing with the NFL where a team looks really bad one week and then they come back and play better. But that's also a dome team. You've got the Saints in 37-degree weather. That's another game that could have an issue there. 37 is not extremely cold, but that's going to have an effect on a team like New Orleans, especially if they're starting Andy Dalton. They're going to be colder. I love Pittsburgh tomorrow plus the 1.5 in that game. So, guys, that is just the full weather report. We're going to be dealing with it the next 7 or 8 weeks here with a lot of these games having weather issues. So I will probably do a segment like this coming next week as well. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.